What's going on, everybody? Jonah from Times Square, here to bring you the most extreme episode of Rewind Recap Relive to date, with guests ECW Legend NEWJACK and second generation star Dominic Truex. But first, please subscribe to the channel. We have tons of engaging content for you on the way, and you're not going to want to miss a minute of it. Now, before we get into this week's episode, I'd like to talk about the winner of the signed NEWJACK Memoirs of a Pro Wrestling Extremist book. Draven Cologne, congratulations, you are the winner and we will be in touch. I'm sure you're looking for another giveaway. Well, you're in luck, because next week on the show we have the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, appearing alongside Philly, Mike Swanson. And you have the chance to win a signed copy of...
Woo! Messy Daddy, welcome my world, the Jimmy Valiant story.
That's right, and all you have to do is comment hashtag R3giveaway down below. That's right, hashtag R3giveaway down below in this video, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And that's it, you'll be entered to win. Now that we got all that out of the way, I do feel compelled to tell you that this interview, much like the old ECW tapes, is of course uncensored. So watch at your own risk, but above all else, enjoy the show. Today, we definitely have an extreme episode for you. Our first guest is a second-generation star in the business. He's carrying on the hardcore legacy that his father started years ago. He's 6'4", 350 pounds. He's the Emergency Contact Dominic Truex.
How you doing?
Our legend is a man known as one of the most brutal competitors in the wrestling industry and one of the most talented performers on the mic. Throughout his impressive career, he's faced controversy. Welcome to the show, NEWJACK.
What's going on, man?
And we're so happy to have you both here. First, I'd like to address my question to NEWJACK. You recently came out with a book, Memoirs of a Pro Wrestling Extremist, which I really thought was fantastic. And I just wanted you to talk a little bit about that and why you felt now was the right time to write it.
Well, I mean, we had been putting it off for like a couple of years, and the time was right. I mean, you know, I had surgery on my leg, so I'm laid up in the house, and I wasn't doing anything. So the writer, Jason, he got in touch with me and asked did I want to do the book. So we went on and did it. As for the timing, does it allude to, you know, the end of your career? No, I mean, I still got some shit I got to do. Well, Dom, so clearly wrestling, it's in your family, right? So can you tell us how much your father involved you in his career when you were a kid and when you actually decided that you wanted to go into wrestling as your career?
I was around the business for, honestly, as long as I could possibly remember. My dad was always bringing me to the back rooms, showing me off, because I looked the most like him out of all those kids. I started out like 8 years old. I was 4'11".
Right.
I'd walk out with them, and I had like a little vest on. I'd walk out with them all mean mugs, and I would like choke slam somebody who was like really, really short. You know, I did that with my dad because he's my father. I love my father.
Who's your dad?
911.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man.
Oh, man, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Big Al's my pops.
I saw him at a restaurant a few years ago up in Jersey.
Yeah, no, dude. Yeah, no. I don't remember me. I was 401. I was one to he brought around everywhere with him.
That's great.
I choke slam Dink.
Did you?
I did. It's cool because I got brought up in the wrestling business. You know, I got to see people like NEWJACK and Sandman like my whole life. Teddy and Johnny were at my house every single day growing up, from Rock and Johnny Grown from Public Enemy.
Right.
It's cool when you get brought up in that, and you have a wrestling ring in your backyard the entire life.
Right.
I was the only one who had a love for it out of my father's kids. There's 8 of us. There's 4 brothers and 3 sisters.
Right.
And I was, for one, the biggest one. And 2, I had the heart, just kept going. I was doing backyard bullcrap deathmatch stuff. I was like a kid growing up and stuff like that, just trying to prove my toughness to people. Eventually I was like, you know, I love this. I can beat myself up and like, yeah, I can handle it, but at the same time, it's like I get that feeling that like, shit, I'm alive. Like I can go out there and get my ass beat and recover. Like I know that. It's not like I was young. You couldn't get hurt at the time. No, you felt it. Even like bumping like as a kid, man, like my dad running drills with me when I was 14 years old.
Right.
That was rough.
Good shit, man.
And that's great. Your passion is really, it's infectious. I talked to you a little bit about it, and you have a great mentality. So NEWJACK, in your book, you say that at first you were a little camera shy early on in your career. How did you work through that to become one of the best wrestlers known on the mic?
When I started cutting promos, I wore like these dark shades, and I would keep my eyes closed, but I'd be facing the camera, but my eyes would be closed. I was camera shy.
Right.
But then I started to study it a little bit, and I would go home and cut promos in front of the mirror. I wanted to be very convincing. You know what I mean? It was like cutting promos to me is like when you're talking to a camera, it's like you're talking to the guy that you got to wrestle. You know what I mean? So I would point at the camera and put my finger in the camera and like that. You know what I mean? And it helped me out a lot.
I believe it. So Dom, I know you were mentioning with promos, you're still trying to get them going. Do you see any of that when you try to practice them yourself?
For me, more it's like I'm pretty eccentric. I'm really good at freaking out, like getting really getting really involved. I'm very quick-minded, so I just like shooting stuff and stuff like that. I always have comebacks, and I love being a ball buster in a river. I do. I love saying stuff. I love breaking people in the ring. It's great. The way I try and cut promo is I try and get on the camera, try and be as serious as possible. I get so scatterbrained all the time that my mind just goes to different places all the time, thinking about what I should say, when I should say it. Did that even sound good what I just said? Trying to get out of my own head sometimes it's hard.
Paulie and Cornette gave me a gun with bullets in it. They said, go shoot it. They were like, here's the point I want you to get to. They said, here's the point. The point is Z. You fill out all the other alphabets to go through to get to Z. That's what I would do. And I never rehearsed my promos. I never went back and recorded them. I never wrote them down or nothing. It just came on top of my head.
And they turned out to be legendary, a lot of them. Dom, so in NEWJACK's book, he talks about at the beginning of his career, he knew he wasn't going to wait around because nobody gives you anything in the wrestling business. And Dom, you've talked about how important it is to be 100% committed to forwarding your career. So can you talk about how that sets you apart from other wrestlers you've met?
I never tried to feed off my dad's name. Whenever I go to wrestling shows, I don't advertise myself as 911 son. I'm just Dominic Truex. I'm trying to make my own name in this business for my own wrestling talent, my own wrestling skill. For me, I just feel like I have more determination in the sake of like my mind is creative. All I do is just think about creative spots. I like doing things that people have never seen before.
Yeah.
Some people just won't have the oomph to want to do anything crazy to get out there. Like there's things you have to do to get ahead, and some people don't want to take those risks. I was one of those people who was willing to take those risks. I'm willing to do top rope power drive somebody. I'll throw somebody through tables. I'll freaking throw somebody through glass. I just went through glass an hour ago. I was in a death match an hour before this.
Yeah, show us. Let's see that.
Straight up, I still have the gash in my leg. I'm still clean out of this. I went right through a glass pane, and I came right here, and I was like, let's do this. And there was no crowd there. You know, I've seen videos of NEWJACK jumping off of scaffolds, falling through like 10 tables at a freaking time. And, you know, you always have to do something that nobody else has done. And NEWJACK did things that nobody else has done. He got the crowd to have so much heat on him, but they still love to see him beat people's ass. To get that kind of heat in the business is amazing.
Yeah.
When people really hate you, it's a good feeling. You're doing your job right. Like, oh, wow, man, they wanted to kill me. They wanted to rip me out of here before here.
Yeah.
NEWJACK, can you speak to that a little bit? So what led to you realizing that doing those over-the-top things that you did, those risks like Dom was just speaking about, what led you to believe, oh, this will set me apart from everybody else? What made you think of those spots?
Me and Paulie had heat. We was putting the Dudleys and Public Enemy over like every week. So I told Mustafa.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I used to do something to my mom. Like I would climb on top of the house.
Yeah.
And she would drive up in the driveway, get off of work, and I would jump off the roof of the house in front of the car. And she was like, "Who the motherfucker are you? I'm gonna kick your ass." Fuck, man. You know, and I incorporated that into wrestling. I'm like, I'm gonna start diving off of shit. I told Mustafa, I said, don't worry about who doing the job. I said, we doing it, I'm gonna dive, and the last thing they gonna remember is me jumping. With all the smarts going in the ring, when I dove, that did it.
They didn't even need to remember the finish.
They wouldn't even remember. They would be chanting NEWJACK the rest of the whole goddamn night. You know what I mean?
What was your least favorite jump, dude? Like, what was your least favorite stunt you've ever done? You were like, shit, that sucked.
Well, it's two. The one where Big Grimes fell on me, that was the one that I got hurt real bad. But it was one in Smoky Mountains. It was our first TV tape in the Smoky Mountains. And I used to do like Mustafa would launch me off like a missile, a head dive, whatever.
Yeah.
And the rope wasn't tight. So the rope was spin.
Yeah.
So I got up on the rope. I'm getting ready to dive. And when I jumped, my foot was on the rope and it spun the rope backwards, and I just went up in the air and did a belly flop. Fortunately, that's not on YouTube, thank God. But I did that. And then, like I said, the one with big grind, that was the one that hurt.
Dom, what about you? Do you have a spot that you hate to think about it? It's just too painful?
I took a pile driver and looked up. Worst mistake of my life.
Yeah.
I looked up and my back cracked from my neck to my ass. I popped up, I landed, I was like, they're like, you're right? I was like, I have no idea. I don't know, actually. I was like, that freaking hurt. I don't think I was supposed to go like that. I finished the match and I went to go roll out. I went to the doctor and like, yeah, you know, you're fine, but like, your back looks weird. That's all they said. So I go and I wrestle the next day like an idiot, thinking that, okay, I'm okay. And this is where it gets really, really bad. I go to pick somebody up for a choke slam over the top rope into the ring, and they fell on me. I went up and my whole back just gave out, and I went like this, and the person
and they fell right on you.
On my head and just landed over. I was like almost knocked out right there. I was like, oh. I was like out. I was just laying there the whole time. Like, you all right? I was like, nope, I'm done with this.
How does it feel, though, to be carrying a legacy like your father's hardcore legacy left in ECW?
It's stressful. Trying to live up to my dad's name. I love him to death, but I mean, I know myself, you know, he didn't have the biggest name in the industry, but the name 911 rings the bell to the fact that he was the one who brought the chokeslam around. The only person who did it before him, if you actually want to look this up, is Abraham Lincoln for some reason. My dad got given the chokeslam and he ran with that. And now everybody they kind of expect a lot of that out of me, the chokeslams and stuff. I'll give it to him because I could do a really, you know, I got the chokeslam. I got the strong chokeslam pretty good. I also did my own. You know, I want to create my own moves. Like my finisher is not a chokeslam. I don't want to do my dad's. Me and my dad wrestle the complete opposite.
Yeah.
I'm a big guy. I'll jump off of stuff. I do backflips, very technical, and I also do a lot of deathmatch stuff. You know, the glass. You know, he doesn't actually like that very much.
Well, Dom, I'm gonna tell you something. If your dad wrestled, which he did, you should use his name. Because if my father wrestled, I would pimp his motherfucking name. I'm serious. I mean, you'd be proud of him, but you should use his name.
It does suck because whenever you look up my dad's name, the only thing that does come up on YouTube a lot is people bad-mouthing my dad. Like, I'm not going to lie, Sandman wasn't on there, bad-mouthed him. Raven went on there, bad-mouthed him. A lot of the wrestlers, a lot of the other ECW guys went on their YouTube. You look, type in my dad's name, it's interviews, people shooting at my dad saying he was a horrible wrestler.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm proud. My dad, it doesn't matter. Nobody had the gimmick that my dad had. Nobody had their name chanted by every single person in that crowd to come out there and just destroy the freaking place. Because that's what he did. He did what he needed to do. And until recently, actually, Jack, I just started taking over my dad's name. Now I just do the emergency contact. I run off right over him. I'm trying. He's coming out to do some segments with me and stuff. He's back. His knees are good. He got his knees replaced completely, so he's walking around again. He's back in the gym.
Right.
So my dad wants to start coming out with me and doing stuff with me as well.
That'd be great.
He's still got it. He could still probably kick my ass. I'm not gonna lie.
NEWJACK, did you ever get to know Dom's father? You ever get to know 911 or wrestle with him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever wrestle with him?
He did a run in on one of my matches, but he was on our side.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he chokeslammed, I think it was Bubba and Public Enemy. That was on the time we worked together.
Going back to that first ECW match you had against Public Enemy, I know Mustafa called it a dream come true. Can you talk about that? Was that a turning point for your career?
I mean, it wasn't a turning point. I mean, what we did was some good shit.
Yeah.
You know? It wasn't a turning point, but us working together, it was like milk and fucking ice cream. It mixed. You know what I mean? And
yeah, absolutely.
I enjoyed working with him. And I'm sorry, Public Enemy, I enjoyed working with him. And then they got a deal on WCW. They went down there and got destroyed. And they came back to ECW. And Paulie said, all we can do is just beat them up because they ain't worth shit no more. So that's what we did.
Right. Dom, I've heard you say before that you see yourself as one of the last true wrestlers. What did you mean by that?
Well, I mean, a lot of these wrestlers right now are they're pretty damn prissy. You know, a lot of them, they're really, really soft. They get their feelings hurt a lot. And I'm not saying I'm going against like the movements that are happening right now, but like,
right.
Just these wrestlers right now, they get mad over the littlest, stupidest things. I'm not a big video game guy. Like, you know, I have these action figures. They're in my house, yes. But, like, when I go out after the show. Last night after ICW, we all went out to Orange City and partied. Half the people there, half the wrestlers there, they all went out and they went home and played video games. I'm going home, this is that. Oh, it's late. No, I want to go out and party with the freaking wrestlers that I freaking wrestled with. We just got done beating the shit out of each other, dude. Let's freaking go and have fun together. And then we'll eventually go home. Who cares? We wake up late tomorrow. Right. I like going out and having fun. You know, I grew up with my dad. You know, going out with these, like, I used to go out with these guys, honestly, in Wildwood, after Dapper shows.
Yeah.
Every freaking time. I was 8 years old, 9 years old, going out and partying with my dad till 3 in the morning. Like, that's where I live. That's the way I grew up.
Right. Camaraderie, it seems, is obviously very important in this business. NEWJACK, what are your thoughts on that? What was your average, you know, after the match celebration? Let's hear what you and Mustafa would do after a tag match, after a night.
We would go to the Holiday Inn in Philly.
Okay.
And go to the bar. All the marks that was at the show, well, I ain't gonna say all of them, but a lot of the marks from the show would meet us at the bar, and we would sit down and drink and do drugs and have a good time and just fuck it. You know what I mean?
Right. Any fun nights that you could actually think back to?
I'm married. Fuck you. I'm not talking about it.
Oh, shit.
Okay. All right.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, NEWJACK, so in your book, you obviously talk a lot about how pervasive racism was towards the beginning of your career. Do you think any of that has changed within the industry?
No.
No?
No. I still think it's just as bad as it was. But see, we was on TV. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
That had a lot to do with us getting exposure by being on TV. And it really did help us. It helped us a lot.
Yeah, and I understand, you know, some of your legendary promos, like the O.J. Simpson promo that everyone seems to remember. What was going through your head? How'd you come up with that?
Paulie came up and asked me, he said, Jack, I want you to go out there and cut a promo. Say something to piss white people off. So I was like, all right. And he came back a few minutes later. He said, say something about OJ. So we walked into the set to cut the promo.
Right.
And Mustafa was like, what you gonna say? I said, I don't know. I said, just go along with me. I said, just follow me. I said, just go along with it. I got up there and I started cutting the promo. White people lost their fucking minds. Dude, they lost it.
Well, I tell you how much I love shit like that. I love shit like that, dude. I love that so much. You went out there and said the most fucked up shit you could have possibly thought at the exact moment in time. I love that shit. I really do. It takes a lot of balls for somebody to go out and do that. It does. It takes a lot of balls for somebody to go out and include it in the heat of the moment. Heat of the time period. You know, like if somebody come out here and say something about the movements that are going right now, nobody would do that. But you did it.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of balls. I love it, though.
Soon after or around that time period, you reenact the Rodney King beatings, but on the Rock and Roll Express, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I told Ricky, I said, let's recreate the Rodney King beating. I said, what's going to happen is it's going to be 5 or 6 of us on you. So he was like, all right, Jack, take care of me. I'm like, I got you. Don't worry about it. And I had the nightstick, and I started beating him with it. And I never touched him. I never touched him.
Yeah.
But I was beating him with it, and he sold it, and they lost it.
And so you're both very extreme wrestlers. What would you say is the most extreme match? I know you spoke a little bit about some spots that were really, you know, excruciating on you, but extreme matches. Dom, you first. What's one of the matches that stands out in your mind?
Ring of Mayhem 2 years ago. I was actually in a tournament. I did 3 death matches in one day. The first death matches, I think the total day I went through 185 light tubes. We did a bunch of barbed wire and stuff like that. By the time I walked out, my whole back was bloodied and busted open. My head over here was all cut up and stuff like that. I had thumbtacks and bottle caps stuck in my back. You know, it was just a reckless day. I'll tell you that right now. It was a tournament. I went all the way to the main event, and literally the final spot was me taking a thumbtack bat to the back and then back bumping through it off of a ladder, back bumping through a table with thumbtacks, lemons, and bottle caps on it.
That is ridiculous. And NEWJACK, for most extreme match, you've been in obviously so many.
Anything that I did with Balls Mahoney.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, yo.
Okay, because me and Ball, we used to go out there and kill each other. But I never would let him in the head with a chair. I'm like, I'm not going to be fucking retarded. I'm like, you ain't hit me in the... And I would tell him, I said, if you hit me with a chair, I'm going to cut you.
So with Balls Mahoney and obviously Mustafa, who were some other guys you clicked with back in those ECW days? In ring or outside of the ring? Who were your go-to guys to hang out with? Maybe Cronus, yeah. I remember in your book you spoke about you were the only one at his funeral, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. So you clicked with Cronus.
Actually, Ryan, these are all guys that I work with on a regular.
Dom, you have anyone specific on the independent circuit where you've been wrestling that you click with? You just have that chemistry?
Yeah, my old tag team partner, Lucky Leo Zuko. I do have other than that, I mean, I just hang out with my father a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
No, we hang out. I mean, besides like the old crew and stuff like that, I mean, my dad hang out with the couple of wrestlers that I do hang out with besides the GCW, like Schlack and Castle Valentine and Will Ospreay. Like I grew up with those guys, but like not we hang out anymore. Like we all every time we're at a show, we always go out. But
that's great. And I remember, did you have a falling out with your tag team partner recently?
Oh yeah, basically just a lot of shit happened in the personal life. And I'm still confused about it. Trust me, he just basically told me to go fuck myself. And then I was back in the single scene because at the same time, it was like, dude, he was slowing me down religiously because he didn't want to get anything done. I would get bookings and tell him, hey, listen, we got a tag team match coming up. Let's go against these tag teams at CZW. And he'd be like, all right, yeah. And he wouldn't show up to the show. And he'd just like leave. So I kept getting pissed off him. So I just did singles matches. Like he was not going to, he just doesn't want to go to the freaking shit. You don't want to get this, you don't want to get this. That's not my problem. So I'm going to go out there and make myself. So he freaking basically ended up getting pissed off. We had a great run wrestling some great tag teams. We wrestled Axel and shit like that. Tio Santana, we wrestled a bunch of people from CCW, wrestled a bunch of people from Chikara.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were doing really good. He went and fucked that all up. He cared more about his shoot job than he did about wrestling.
Fuck him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. Fuck him. He wants to be a waiter. He can be a waiter. I'll be a wrestler.
So, NEWJACK, in your book, one part that I found in the middle of all this intense violence, you talk about where you met your wife. I'm assuming it's your current wife, Jennifer, right? And you knew that she was the right one for you. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I was in the hospital. I had been in the hospital for a few weeks.
Right.
Nobody came to see me. People didn't give a fuck about me. I was just like, I'm on in this shit by myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
And she sent me an email. It was a friendly email, just, hey, how you doing? And seeing how you doing. I hope everything's going well. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So I told her, I said, leave me your number. And I said, when I get out of the hospital, I'm going to call you. And that's how we hooked up.
Was she a fan of NEWJACK, the wrestler, and then got to know Jerome? No? How'd she know you were in the hospital?
I posted on Facebook.
That's fantastic. It's a wonderful way to meet. Yeah. So NEWJACK, you say that if someone dwells on the past in wrestling, right, it's probably not the world for them. If you could invent the perfect pro wrestler in today's wrestling industry, let's say, what qualities, good or bad, would that person need?
I don't watch wrestling, so I really couldn't tell you. You know what I mean? It's like, I stopped watching years ago.
I got you.
Why? Why? Out of curiosity, I actually want to know this.
It's just corny. I mean, the way the shit is now is fucking corny. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's corny as fuck.
It's getting way too bullshit.
Yeah.
It's getting way too fake. Like way. There's just so much bullshit going on in one match per thing, and I completely agree with you. I'm very, very happy you said something about that because I don't agree with this way of wrestling that we're having right now at all. It's not even like watching wrestling anymore. It's like watching a TV show about wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, as a person who does, I do keep up with it frequently. I watch it. I could never see you in the current climate that WWE or AEW puts on just because it's just too different. I feel like you would clash with it. What if they offered you a WWE contract? Would you take it or no? Just it clashes with the NEWJACK character too much.
Dude, I would get fired in 2 weeks. I would get fired in a week, probably, but 2 at the most.
If someone told you to act that way, if tried to control you, you wouldn't go for it, right?
No.
You care about the character too much.
No.
You've had a WWE tryout in the past, right?
I was supposed to have gotten a tryout. I went down to Fort Lauderdale.
Right.
And they told me they want me to do a tryout with this guy, but I had the dark match. I'm like, y'all give me a dark match? I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So yeah. I was at ringside talking about what we were going to do in the match. And somebody got wind and went back in the back and told them what we were going there and do. Because I was going to, they would not have followed me with the shit I had planned on that I had planned.
What did you have planned?
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean,
do you remember?
We was going to go over the rail and go through the audience. I mean, yeah.
In a dark match too, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The first match of the night. Get the fuck in the ring. You know? I had all this shit planned, and the guy went back and told John Laurinaitis what we was gonna do. And he was like, no, you can't do that. So the board, when they write who versus who on it,
yeah,
my name ain't got any erased from it.
They didn't even tell you? They just erased it?
They took me off of it. I was like, I went in the back, I got my money, and I left.
Where'd you go afterwards? Where'd you go?
To a bar.
All right. Dom, I got to know if in the future AEW, WWE offered you a contract, one of the top two, what would you do?
I mean, it's weird because it's money at the same time. Like, the way that I live, I feel like people like WWE wouldn't be able to put up with my attitude at all. You know, I have a very bad, like, you know, people telling me what to do a lot. I don't really like that shit. Like, if I'm going to go out there and wrestle, I'm going to go out there and do my match. Don't tell me how to wrestle my match. AEW, yeah, it just depends on where they would take me. But I'm more in the running for, like, GCW and, like, ICW and stuff like that, like the deathmatch shit.
Yeah.
Or going to Japan. I'd rather just go to Japan and freaking do some just go over there and just get my ass kicked and beat some ass while I'm over there. Japan's my ultimate goal. I would love to I would want to go to Japan.
NEWJACK, you have stories from Japan?
I went once, and it was a clusterfuck.
What happened? Could you tell us about that a little bit?
Paul Lee had some problems with the Japanese promoters.
Okay.
So he came to us and said he didn't want us to go. I was like, dude, it's Japan. He was like, but I don't want you to go, Jack. It's gonna hurt us. So I went. I went. I was like, fuck that shit. You done been in Japan, motherfucker. I'm going. I'm like, fuck this. So I went.
Yeah. And it just didn't work out.
No.
If you had to create a wrestler in your time period, what qualities did they have? Or what qualities did you wish you had before you went into it?
Ray Candy once told me, that was my trainer.
Right.
He said, you need to create a character. He said, create a character that you've never seen before. And I was like, what kind of mind fuck is that? I said, if I ain't never seen it, how the fuck am I gonna create it? He said, that's where you become, that separate the men from the boys. He said, create a character that you've never seen before. So for the next few weeks, I was trying to figure out something to do and whatever I would pick with my character. The Rodney King beating was fresh. O.J. Simpson had killed everybody in California. I was like, I can build off of that. We can be from South Central LA. And I was telling myself this shit, wear the Raider gear and the gold chains and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I came up with all of that and we put it into effect and we used it and it worked.
Dom, so do you have any thoughts on that? What kind of qualities do you try to instill upon your character, upon, you know, Dominic Truex? What are you trying to build with your character and how has it evolved since you debuted?
I just want to be the strongest hardcore wrestler that there is right now.
Yeah.
You know, I like doing feats of strength that people normally can't do and doing stuff that big men usually can't do. You know, everybody pictures themselves being completely somebody different, but the way I love being like myself, I just feel like myself in general. I live wrestling. I love wrestling. Like I am the way I am 24/7 when I'm in the ring, home, doesn't matter. I'm eccentric. I wouldn't really change a lot about me. You know, I like, you know, the way I was going to look, I feel like I got my look. You know, the way I was going to wrestle, I feel like I got my wrestling down.
Right. So it's just organic, right? It just flows. But when did you get into death matches from just wrestling? You know, because I know you said your father didn't really like that. So when did you transition from I'm going to be a wrestler to I'm going to do death matches? That's a pretty big leap, I'd say.
It was kind of like doing the backyard stuff with my friends. And, like, I would see – I went to a backyard wrestling show. And, like, I'd wrestle with these people, like, you know, like I saw, like, Joey Janela and, like, people, like, do some deathmatch stuff. And I was like, wow, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. That's kind of weird. And, like, every who wanted to do it, like, just to prove how tough they were, they would do these.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, you know, I ain't no bitch. I'll fuck up all these people who are doing this shit. Like, if they can fucking do it, I can knock these motherfuckers out. I'm going to do this. The worst thing I took right off the bat was definitely just a kendo stick right to the forehead. As hard as a guy could swing it, swung it right here, right between the eyes. Boom. Right there, I realized, I'm like, dude, that sucks. Like, really, there was a knot in my head. But, like, oh, man, the crowd pop you got.
Yeah.
You don't get a better crowd pop to get hit with a good weapon good. Honestly, you don't. Like, going through tubes, going through glass, going through stuff like that, the crowd is always there for you. Yeah, it's a cheap pop, but it's
eat it up. Yeah.
Great pop. Yeah, you eat it up. And you feed off that energy. I love feeding off that. Like, I don't mind fucking people up and getting fucked up.
Absolutely. And so, NEWJACK, I know this is going very far back, but your first weapons bump when you were in wrestling, what did that feel like to you? You know, getting hit with a chair, getting hit with a kendo stick, whatever it was.
I mean, it never happened. I got hit with a chair probably by Tracy Smothers.
Right.
In Smoky Mountains. But that was near the end of our run in Smoky Mountain. We were going to go to ECW.
Mm-hmm.
So we left Smoky Mountain and went to ECW. And that's when all that shit started. You know, the chairs, the weapons, and the this, that, and the other, and the guns and knives and all kind of shit. You know what I mean? And that's when that started. But I did a match with, what's his name? Is it Masada?
Masada, yeah.
Yeah, from CCW.
Yeah. I did a match with him. And that fucker took them down. What do you call them things?
Skewers. The skewers?
Yeah. My forehead is numb.
Yeah.
I've got color for so many years. My forehead is numb. But he stuck them things in my head and hit it. And they went in.
Oh, my God.
They stick.
Yeah.
Like a porcupine.
Yeah. And I was sitting there, I was down on my knees, but I was looking up. And this thing is hanging out my head. And I was like, what the fuck?
Wait, you didn't know? You didn't know that was going to happen?
No, he didn't tell me he was going to do it. I wouldn't have cared. But it was just, he caught me off guard. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, you all right? I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm fine. Next time, give me a warning, goddamn.
That's amazing. What do you know when you go into a match usually? Because a NEWJACK match is crazy. What do they know? Do they just know they're getting hit with the 187 at some point?
Yeah.
That's it? That's all they know?
That's forever. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I'm just like, we'll go, we'll walk and we'll talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it. We walk and we talk.
You call on the spot.
Yeah.
Dom, what about you? Going into the match, how much do you and your opponents know?
The beginning, a cut off in the end. That's about it.
Okay.
Everything else was a call in the ring. You know, it's more fluent like that. You don't get the kind of good wrestling that you get out of going off the fly.
Yeah.
You know, you see how stuff is planned. That's what you get today. You get all this bullshit that you see all these flippy guys and all these choreographed backhand springs into a catch that's just what wrestling turned into because of how much they've been choreographing. People back in the day, like NEWJACK here, used to go out there like a man and be like, we're going to go out there and fight. When we feel like we're done fighting, that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
NEWJACK, when you got the call to go to ECW, can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I knew that we was about done in Smoky Mountain.
Right.
And Al Snow told me to call Todd Gordon. And he gave me his number.
Yeah.
So I called Todd. And Todd was like, interested in using you and Mustafa, but we need you up here next week. Cornette had us down for 3 more weeks. He was like, we need you next week. So I told Cornette, I said, ECW offered me some money. And he offered me a lot of money to come up there and do some work with them. I'm like, so I gotta go. I said, me and Mustafa, we out.
Yeah.
He was like, you can't do that to me. I'm like, we just doing house shows. You know what I mean? I'm like, it don't mean shit. We do house shows. So we left and went to ECW.
Right.
And the rest is history.
Was Mustafa like he was just whatever you did, he was like, all right, I'm with you type of thing? That was your relationship?
Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
Just a quick question. I love tag team wrestling. Tag team wrestling has always been one of my favorite things about wrestling was great tag team matches. How do you feel like you, Mustafa, how'd you guys become become a tag team actually? Like what got you guys together?
Great question, yeah.
Cornette told me he was coming through Atlanta one night and he saw the company I was working for, North Georgia Wrestling Alliance. He saw us on TV. He said, "Jack, I need a black heel tag team." He was like, "You got a partner?" And at the time, I didn't have a partner. Right. I said, I can think of somebody, and Mustafa was the first person came to mind. You know what I mean? But I was like, I'll call him, we'll talk, we'll see what's up. And he was like, we'll come back down and do a show next month. He said, I want to invite y'all to come do a tryout. So that's what we did.
Did you guys just click immediately?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'll cut a promo and Mustafa will come back with these little one-liners and
awesome one-liners too. Awesome one-liners.
It was one time I cut this promo for like 3 or 4 minutes. And Mustafa, the camera panned off of me and went to Mustafa. And he looked in the camera, he was like, "These nuts." Right? It just came out of nowhere. And then one other time, I cut the promo, and at the end of the promo, the camera went to Mustafa, and he was like, boing. You know what I mean? It was just like little one-liner that he would do and just fuck everybody up.
He definitely wasn't stressing about his promos, right?
No.
He wasn't writing anything down in the back. How was your relationship with Paul Heyman when you got to ECW? Because you said a great line in your book is that if he told you the sun was rising tomorrow, you'd wait up, right, all night. Is that so much his words are worth, you said. So could you talk a little bit about that?
I mean, it was cool. He looked out for us.
Yeah.
It didn't get shitty till the end. Around the end, when it was time for us to wrap it up, that's when he got real shitty. But he looked out for us. He took care of me.
Are you two, do you ever keep in touch with him today?
I hit him on Instagram one day.
Yeah.
And he thought that was the greatest shit ever.
Dom, ideally, what does the future of your career look like? Where would you be headed?
I'm trying to get to GCW and ICW. I see a future myself. Absolutely. I see myself going to Japan. Absolutely. I see myself doing all this. Absolutely. I got my mindset there. I've already wrestled in Canada and I've already wrestled in England. I just want to go to Japan as fast as possible. That's just where I feel like my style fits in a lot more. The strong style, get your ass beat kind of style.
Yeah.
Damn headbutt style, being like a wimp, take a hit. A lot of wrestlers complain about getting hit too hard nowadays. And
right.
I love watching shit back in the day. People macking each other. That's what real men did. We went out there and fought. That's what we want to see. If me and NEWJACK fight, he stabbed me with a fork. 100%. 100%. We're gonna fight each other. We're gonna have fun. I'm gonna let him punch me in the face, and he's probably gonna let me punch him in the face. Because if I don't, he'll probably beat my ass more.
NEWJACK. So in your book, you speak a lot about how you're really good at giving advice back, right, to the younger generation of wrestlers. Do you have any advice for a wrestler like Dom, his style?
I mean, I did death matches a few times. I didn't do them a lot, but I did them a few times. And then I had fun doing it.
Yeah.
But I always tell people, when guys ask me for advice, I'm like, make sure you're working with a vet.
Yeah.
Somebody that can teach you something. Because when you got Ed and Tom in the ring with each other, that's like the blind leading the fucking blind. And can't either one of them show the other one shit.
Yeah.
But when you got somebody that's done been there and done it, and you get up under his wing and let him teach you and show you the ropes, then it usually works out for the best.
All right. One last question. My dad tells me a lot of stories about ribs and shit like that back in the day. People ribbing each other. NEWJACK, what was the what's one of your favorite ribs you've ever seen or done to another wrestler? I kind of want to hear this.
But the one that was done on me was somebody stole my bag. Well, they didn't steal it. They hid it.
Yeah.
Now I couldn't find my gift like the whole show. And then like one match before mine was supposed to come up, they found my bag. My bag just popped up in the middle of the goddamn locker room. And I was freaking the fuck. I mean, what the fuck? And I knew it was somebody doing it. They were just fucking with me. You know what I mean? But they did it.
Do you know who did it?
No. To this day, I don't know who did it.
Somebody's got to come out. They better watch this and better come out. I want to know who did it. I think NEWJACK deserves to know who did it.
I don't know who did it. I swear to God, I don't know who did it.
Dom, you ever have any ribs pulled on you so far?
100%. And I've also had a lot fail on me. One of my, I did get ripped one time. Somebody brought right after a match. It wasn't even during the match. It was after a match. I get back and I asked for a bottle of water. This guy gives me a whole bottle of vodka that he was put in the freezer. Freezing cold, and I drank it like you're going to drink a bottle of water, and I freaking everywhere just puked. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Just give me some water, please. I'm blowing up. Please. But I just wanted to one really funny part. Somebody tried to rib me one time. They were going to put Bengay in my eye.
Oh my God.
But right before the entrance, right before my entrance, about to go out, I see this guy, he's getting all pumped up, he's getting all jacked up like these freaking wrestlers do. And he's like, oh shit. And I walk out. I just see him go, oh shit. I walk out to the ring. I'm like, what the hell happened? This guy music plays. He doesn't come out for like 30 seconds after his song. Well, what the hell? He comes out. His eyes are beet red. Like red as hell. And I'm like, after the match, I'm like, what happened? He's like, I was going to put Bengay in your eye and rib you. And I actually put it in my own fucking eye. right before I entered, just right in my own eye.
NEWJACK, last question here. You say in your book that you've long accepted that violence is going to follow you for your entire life. Do you still feel that way? And how do you see your future as NEWJACK?
I mean, I done mellowed out a lot. I don't do shit I used to do.
Right.
But I got so much shit going on right now. It's like wrestling played a big part of me being who I am.
Right.
And I got other projects that I'm working on now that's going to compensate me for doing shit in the ring that I don't have to do anymore.
Right.
Stay tuned, you'll see.
So it's a surprise?
Yeah.
And do you think anybody will ever embody the NEWJACK character again?
No.
Or was it nobody could live up to that?
No.
I don't know, man. I think I know that, but man, I just feel like GCW. Have you know anything about GCW or ICW by any chance? I feel like if you went down there and met a couple of guys, you'd fit right in. NEWJACK. It's a pretty cool place. It's a nice place, nice guys. This is where like the real boys would be hanging out. Honestly. But if you ever, dude, trust me, man. If you ever want to make a stamp, dude, I'd just head right over there, man. Just for the hell of it.
Right on.
I'm really looking forward to see what NEWJACK has up his sleeves. So thank you both so much. It's been really great. NEWJACK, thank you, and Dom, likewise.
No problem.
Thank you, man.